Hey guys, welcome back to the layout. So today I've got another layout update for you. I talked about a couple things on my last update for New Year's, but I want to kind of show you guys some of the stuff I've done. Now Chris and Mark, so that's Go Via and Go Home and M&M Rails, are coming over on Friday. So that really lit the fire under me, and I was able to get a couple things done that I really wanted to get done that I've been procrastinating about and putting off. So that's really exciting. I'm going to show you what I've done and kind of how I moved around underneath the layout a little bit. Another thing is, if you haven't already checked out our club layout channel, I guess, go ahead and do that. I'll link it down below, and it's called the Ontario Rail Joiners, and it's gonna be for when we go to clubs, when we set up and practice run, stuff like that. And so that should be pretty fun. So don't forget to go check that out. As well as one of the club members, Greg F, just kind of started making his first official video, he calls it. So he's done a couple videos in the past of just running trains and kind of thing, but he actually talks about what's going on. He shows his module off, and I told him I'd do him a shout out. So go check that out. His channel will be down below in the description as well. So don't forget to check that stuff out. And I'm gonna jump behind the camera and we'll see what's going on. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. Now nothing has happened. The bolts and the wooden ramp are for the lift out section. So I just leave them there until the lift out goes in, because I have not glued the ramp to the lift out just yet, and the bolts are actually what I use to keep the lift out in. Now I don't have to, you can just kind of put it in place, connect the rails and the wires, that's no problem. And I actually have wing nuts that I put on these if I really want, but I find that putting the bolts in themselves actually just keep it in place enough, so I rarely put on the wing nuts, but I just leave everything there. I think I've talked about that before. Moving forward, I'm going to point out that I have soldered all the rail joints. So, although nothing has changed here, you'll see a little exploration train. If I zoom in, you'll see I have soldered a lot of the rail joints. Now, it's not perfect because this new solder takes, I have to put my soldering iron up to 40 watt just to get it to melt. And unlike my other solder, where I could kind of really get it really nice and hot and get it to go into the rail joiners and really make a great connection, this stuff kind of sits on the side. It's thicker, uses I think a rosin core, stuff like that. I don't like it as much, but I paid for it and I can't really take it back, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use it, because you guys know me, don't like to waste money. So, and it works, right? It does work. It does do what I want. Does it look great? No, but eventually I'll have ballast, I'll paint the track, and it won't be so visible. It's just visible right now because everything's shiny. All the joints are shiny. So, and I still need to go along the track. A lot of the flux residue, you know, because the flux is built in, it kind of spits, and in some cases gets on top of the track. So I do need to clean up the track, and I need to clean up my wheels. But I will talk about that shortly. So just kind of move everything. Moving on, none of this has changed. I mean, I had to take it out when I soldered and I put it back, so maybe I put it back in a slightly different configuration. I do know at one point, and I don't know if I ever noticed or mentioned anything, but that building was in the corner and that building was kind of off to the side, but I swapped it around, and I'm gonna plug that hole. Chris has the rest of the kit, because that kit is from Chris, so he has the rest of the kit to finish it off, because obviously it's very far from complete and perfect. So we'll get that done eventually, but kind of moving forward. So got the Christmas picture hung up there for now. Again, no batteries in it, but it's nice to look at. So moving forward, I've got the yard all soldered up. So, well, not completely, but basically any of the most important connections, rail joiners. And, you know, a lot of people really seem to, well, not a lot of people, some people said, you know, don't solder your turnouts. Go ahead, you know, drill individual feeders for your turnouts. And I'm going, man, in my yard, like they're not Electrofrog, but I mean, I can understand, but for me, it's just a ton of work. So what I did is I actually did solder all of my turnouts. And it's really easy to lift up if I need to, because all I do is, you know, you see all these gaps. Gap, 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 you know, gap, 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 gap. And I did that because this way I can hold the soldering iron to the rail joiner with the solder on it, take some bent needle nose pliers, pull back the rail joiner on each rail, and then squirt the glue with water and lift it up, and off I go. And I've actually had to lift up some of the turnouts to mend them. This one had some the point rails were just not that great. Some of them are rough, right? I reused a lot of these. Rarely did I go out and buy new switches, new turnouts. So some of them are the Mark IVs, I think they're called, the newer ones, and they work amazing. Some of them are not. Some of them are, you know, unfortunately snap switches. Some of them are number 4s. Looking back, I wish I would have gone all number 4s, but it's in. That could be a project, right? In the future, but not right now. I don't care. It works. I have 4-axle locomotives. It works for me, no problem. So anyways, some of it's a little messy. You know, it's funny, some of the glue got all over. Anyways, it works. Again, it's shiny. I don't like it, but it works. So nothing has changed in here. Got that Coca-Cola car right in there. Sorry for the cable. I have to charge the camera as it records. There's the Coca-Cola tanker, the Coca-Cola factory over there. I just put those plastic houses back there because I'm gonna move this forward just a little bit. Sorry for the blue, and zoom out, because you have my second try at making a hill. So this is it, and it's just a small 2-inch hill made out of foam. Obviously, it's still pink. I don't know if I like it, because I'm not good with scenery. I have a really hard time thinking of the big picture. So I put this here as kind of my second decision, because, and I apologize for kind of the messiness. I meant to clean the layout, and I kind of did, but I forgot about the side, obviously. So I made this about a week ago, I guess, and I don't know if I like it, but it's pretty good. So we have a 5-inch kind of backdrop hill, and it's hollow, right? Like, I'm just reusing the foam that I had from when I redid my layout, so it's not perfect, right? And a lot of people have said, well, plaster cloth is really good, or no, get the drywall spackling. I'm not quite sure what I want to do. If anybody has a method that they really like, or, you know, somebody made a video that they're really proud of, that it worked out really well, go ahead and share it with me, because this is something I haven't looked into yet. So I may just I'm gonna plead ignorance, really, because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't see the big picture. I don't know if I like it, but, you know, I have to remember, well, there might be plaster cloth or spackle all over this, so it will be smooth. And I guess really the plan is I'm going to have a retaining wall all along this side where it is straight up, and then obviously it rolls up here. This side is kind of more rolly a little bit, and may have to smooth that out, but, and then this, I mean, eventually it'll all be down properly. Like I said, the inside is just hollow. Then we have a small kind of 1-inch formation here, and a 2-inch formation there that kind of lines up with the fascia, because I figure the fascia might be about 2 inches up. I think that's a good size. So, well, we'll see. Depends. It might vary depending on the environment, and I see that a lot, and I like the look of it. It looks really clean, you know, so if it actually follows the environment and it comes down, you know, that's kind of cool. But we'll see again. Don't know. That's pretty far in the future. So let me know what you guys think. It's my first try. I have a hard time seeing the big picture, and actually I took this out because I'm soldering, not lining up 100%. But regardless, I think it'll look okay once I get like plaster cloth or spackling, or again, whatever. I think some people actually just use like I don't know. I did this with a knife and a jigsaw. So it's a start, right? I don't have one of those foam cutters that are super cool looking, but yeah. So I'm kind of proud just because I went ahead and took the plunge. You know, I before I was so sure I was just gonna leave it as is, but kind of cool. So yeah, just kind of rolling hills and some retaining walls over there would be cool. Other than that, not too much. I got a wheel cleaner from, I guess we'll look this way, from Woodland Scenics. So it's kind of neat. You have, it's called Tidy Track, and it comes with some pads, some extra pads, and then you can buy some more. And it's kind of neat. It's got these grooves on the bottom with connections, so you can actually set it down on your rails on a straight piece of track and use track power, or it comes with an alligator clip and 1/8 millimeter or 1/8 inch plug. So patent pending, neato. Anyways, kind of cool, kind of cool. It's proved to be a little useful. I've only used it once or twice, but I want to go over all of my locomotives, and if I can, most of my rolling stock, although I don't know how dirty my rolling stock wheels would be, but quite possibly. I haven't looked. So, and then Chris gave me, wherever it is, it's just a track cleaner kind of bar. It looks like an eraser. So there it is there. It actually looks just like an eraser for pens. Well, I don't know if they're for pens, but remember those blue erasers when we were kids, or at least when I was a kid? Maybe they're still around. They have like little bits of stuff in them. So that's what this looks like. It's kind of shiny. You can actually see it. And it was used, you know, he gave it to me because he had a spare. And I've used it. Works awesome. So I want to go around my whole layout, clean the track, clean all the wheels, and you know, I want to make everything run as good as I can for Chris and Mark. And you know, because it gave me a really good excuse to really do a lot, like solder the track. I've been talking about that for a while, and then I kind of went, nah, maybe I won't because it's a lot of work, and so I did. And it's not 100%. Like, I haven't done all the joints because I don't have problems for the most part. Like, really, I overkilled it. I really didn't have problems, you know, on my main line and my and most of my spurs. Most of my spurs were fine. But you're doing it, the soldering iron's out, you might as well do what you can. The only part I really didn't do is along the main line in this area. Oh, sorry for the cord. Just because it's hard to get the soldering iron because there's not a ton of space. So, we'll see. If I do have problems, though, I will happily solder them and get that done. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Oh, before I do go, I know it's going to be a long one. I did end up, I'm just going to lower the camera here. So, I don't think I've ever mentioned it before, but under my layout, I had to switch everything around. So I have my little work desk, which is actually a sewing machine table. My family's had this since I was a kid, and it's nothing special. It's not like family heirloom or anything. But sewing machine actually would hang upside down, and then this part lifts up, and it's locked. But you know, this side and the other side would lift up, and then whatever, I'll leave it. You know, the sewing machine flips up, so I just use that as a little workbench because it's something I can, you know, slowly demolish and nobody cares. That's just a little thing full of all my tech gadgets. Little extra workbench I relocated that used to be a cross room. This is where all my used foam, used wood, used road bed or unused road bed, pretty much all my building resources are. A little lamp there, my shop vac. This is just stuff, you know, I've got like a full Nintendo Entertainment System, like the old school NES. In fact, I think I have a Super NES as well. Some old HO buildings. I don't think I want to use anything, but because they're all like really bad. But that's that white box. I think I'll get rid of that. This is all my rolling stock and locomotive boxes. And you can see part of a Commodore 64 in that top box. All my magazines, totes of random stuff. Some of the stuff is like random stuff like high school yearbooks, stuff like that. You can see some boxes there. I ended up repurposing this. This was just storage. I put pretty much all my tools on it. Not all my tools, but most of my tools, most of just stuff that I use daily, all my little pliers, paints, all that stuff. Not that I use paints ever, but you can see this is just, I just leave my left out standing up. Just some storage. So, garbage behind that chair. I got a chair. It's covered in cat fur because it's the cat's chair up until I brought it into here. So we got this chair for free from some friends. And because Danielle was going to use it for her office. But I really wanted a proper chair for down here because I use that little tote that you saw under the table. And it doesn't support my back, so I find my back hurts. So with this I can lean back. And I kind of like to be eye level with the trains as well. So when they're running around I can be eye level and kind of sit down and give my legs a rest. But, so excuse the cat fur, because I'm a very proud cat dad of 2 boys. And I think I probably mentioned them. They've been in the videos meowing at the door, or in my unboxing videos and stuff like that. So, very proud cat dad, very proud. But, moving forward, so this actually used to be on the other side. And the small table beside the work table used to be here and just full of stuff, really just somewhere to chuck everything. And I had to redo this whole underneath area, all because I got the module. And I mentioned that, I showed you it sideways kind of thing on my last update. But what happened is, you know, I bring it home and clearly my eyes are bigger than my brain because I bring it in and I'm like, okay, it's 2 feet by 4 feet. I have nowhere to put it. I have nowhere that's 4 feet under my layout other than here, which was full of stuff. I had 4 totes, 2 by 2, all the wires, you know, the totes had like massive amount of stuff on them. It was just a nightmare. So I took 2 days and I moved everything around all so that I could put the module down there. And the legs are just behind my table there. But there we go. So it worked pretty good. And, you know, in this way too, I can actually kind of work on it if I want to. I just kneel there and work. But it's pretty cool. I've got to replace pretty much the top 2 tracks because there's a kink there. The rail's coming off there. There's what I'm guessing is a station with the station platform. Chris has, and this is number 2. Chris has end 1, which is on the left. Greg F has number 3, so he has the rest of the station platform, stuff like that. So it needs a little bit of TLC, but it's pretty good. I'm pretty excited. But I'll be making videos about that. Probably a new little playlist about working on the module, something like that, because I'm gonna have to put some time into it, which is fine. Pretty excited actually, because it's gonna force me into doing scenery and reballasting and changing track, you know, stuff like that. So pretty excited for that. A little bit of everything. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video because it is going on 17.5 minutes. I'll have to edit this though, so it probably won't be quite that long, but pretty close, I bet you. So anyways, I will leave it at that. So thank you guys for watching. Like I said, if you have any comments, criticisms, questions, always put down below. But if you do have any constructive criticism about those hills, like I said, if anybody can link me a video, tell me if they prefer the plaster cloth, the drywall spackle, that kind of stuff. Anything would help, right? Because this is part of my layout I've never looked into. Wiring's easy for me. Soldering, stuff like that. You know, putting in boards and making small things like that, like that's no problem for me. But scenery is hard. So that would be super awesome. I appreciate that. If you enjoyed this video of me talking the whole time and stuff like that, don't forget to like the video. I say a lot. My apologies for that. I do say a lot. So, and if you're not and you want to be, and you want to see more awesome videos of trains and me talking and me giving you layout updates and operating sessions, then go ahead and subscribe if you're not. So, the next you'll see me, I'll probably make a video when Chris and Mark are here, and I'm super excited about that. Like I said, it really motivated me to get the wheels rolling again. So, super excited. Watch out for that video end of this week. Until next time, guys, enjoy your bacon.